The first thing I want to talk about, Nisha, is the fact that there was an article called Thumbs Down, Film Critic and Gender, Why It Matters. And they talked about how only 34% of us on Rotten Tomatoes are women. It literally rose a whopping 2% from 2018, and a whopping 3% more reviews are published compared to last year. And I was like, wow, that's such progress. Not really. So that brings me...
You want to hear the sad thing when you were saying that? I was like, it's 34%? I didn't even think it was that high.
Yeah, it's 34%. And so
Wow.
I say all that to say, the last time we saw a woman in late night television was Joan Rivers on NBC.
Yeah.
And now Lily Singh is coming to NBC. So kudos to NBC for keeping it real. And she's Indian and Canadian. But
Yeah.
this is the first time in 30 years. And this is somebody that started on YouTube in 2010 with 14 million viewers. So I think that this film, Late Night, with Mindy and Emma, directed by yourself, is right on time.
Thank you. It is sadly still radical, right? It shouldn't be, but it's radical that an Indian American woman wrote it and an Indian American woman directed it, and that, you know, the two leads are two women and one is over the age of 50. I think it's like a unicorn of a movie, and it shouldn't be, because it really represents what's happening and what our culture is. It's so hard to break these stories through when the people with the power aren't inclusive. Then it seems like a unicorn when it's not, you know?
I do know. And you said in your bio somewhere you had a traditional upbringing. So I think it's really funny that you attach yourself to projects that are non-traditional, like Late Night, like You, Me, Her, like Transparent. Like,
Yeah.
What is it about your traditional upbringing that you feel like colors your viewpoint in bringing these non-traditional stories to the forefront?
So the whole idea of a traditional upbringing, right? It's something interesting to me in a whole nother movie that I want to make, because I've heard so many people say, well, the traditional Indian mother, not my mom, but the traditional Indian mom would blah, 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 blah. And enough people said it to where I said, who is this traditional Indian mom that nobody has, but everybody seems to refer to?
That's hilarious.
Right? So that's why I made Chutney Popcorn, because that was me taking on this traditional Indian mom idea, because the mom in that movie is a traditional Indian mom who is far from traditional in this journey that she takes. You know, she has to get from the beginning to the end to accept her gay daughter who's having a baby for her straight daughter, and the comedy and chaos that ensues in that family. So I think from day one, I was always interested in telling stories that I hadn't seen on screen, because, well, for two things. One, just representation, first and foremost, is the most important thing to shifting culture and identity formation, because we're such a media-centric society that if you don't exist in film and TV, you just don't exist. And if you don't exist, then you can't create change in culture, because you're not even a part of it. So my first agenda was just represent, get women on the screen, get people of color on the screen, make it so that we see ourselves, so that we feel a reflection in the mirror, so that we can just form our identities, know who we are, and then from there we can be a force together. But it was just the first basic step of not seeing anything reflected was weird, you know? It's what are the themes? And I was asked by, this is why what you guys do is so important, because you help us realize who we are. Because somebody said, well, you're doing everything from Transparent to Chutney Popcorn to, you know, Mr. Robot. Where's the commonality in all this? And I had to really take a hard look at it and see, oh, it's identity. I'm obsessed with the idea and theme of identity. In whatever shape, form that story is being told in, that's what I seem to keep circling around in my work. And the thing that is the highest form of that to me is comedy. So if I can talk about feminism, women in the workplace, diversity, inclusion, people of color, all in under the guise of comedy, then I've really succeeded, because I always want movies to be entertaining and funny first and foremost, and then I want there to be a message under it. But if you don't want the message, you can just go to the theater and laugh your ass off and have a good time. But if you want it, it's extra satisfying, I find, to have a movie that actually tried to say something.
Not for nothing, but I loved Late Night for a variety of reasons. I love the fact that in the writing and in the directing and in the acting, y'all addressed ageism, you addressed nepotism, you addressed sexism, you addressed racial profiling. Like, y'all went in and you went in. Yeah, but y'all went in hard, because there's that one scene where Mindy is starting to make her way into ingratiate herself to the host being played by Emma Thompson. And there's that moment where she says, well, what can I do? And her character says, well, you know, you're a woman in your 50s in Hollywood and you're a little white. And I'm like, oh no, did they really just say that out loud? I laughed out loud. And then there's that scene where the writers are in a writer's room and they're sitting there going, well, it must be nice to be a woman of color. Maybe I could be a woman of color and get the job too.
Right?
I was like, oh, they're not playing. So I was wondering if you feel like we have so many showrunners on TV. We have Shonda Rhimes, we have Issa Rae, we have Mindy for a minute, Ava DuVernay, Lena Waithe. Do you think that the hashtag Me Too movement has really burned a fire under making women a little more prevalent in the forefront and making more room for them in these writers' rooms and as directors in the Hollywood landscape?
Absolutely. Oh my God. Yes. I mean, Shonda really was the groundbreaker with that ABC, because I remember when Grey's Anatomy came on and I saw that show and I was like, oh, good, a black doctor. And then I remember, oh my God, another black doctor. And they're not related. And then there was a third black doctor. And I was like, there are 3 black doctors on the show, y'all. What's happening? And then Sandra Oh walks out and I was like, I'm an Asian doctor. And I was like losing my mind, right? I was like, these are like fully formed characters. They're all people of color. They're not related to each other. They're not there to just support the white character. What's happening? And it was the first time I had seen that, you know, and that was like really sadly radical. She just was like, hey, this is what the world looks like. Because meanwhile, I was like watching other TV shows that took place in hospitals going, show me one hospital in this country that you can walk into and not see a Filipino nurse or an Indian doctor, except for on TV. You know?
Exactly.
Like, what's going on? Yeah,
I'm a person of color and my mother has spent her career being a registered nurse. So imagine when the only time I saw somebody of color be a nurse on television was Julia with Diane Carroll. And that was like 40 years ago. I'm like, what the hell?
And when Kerry Washington said there hasn't been a black female lead on TV in 30 years.
Since Diane Carroll and Julia, yes.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was just like the bizarro land of television not reflecting accurately what's happening in culture. I don't know any other countries that have this problem.
Yeah.
How is the world whitewashed on TV, but not, I look out my window, it's not like that. I look at the TV, it's like that. What's going on in America that we assume that the norm is a white person and that nobody's going to relate to it unless it's a white male? That is just a piece of fiction that I really wanted to explode in this movie.
It's a huge disparity in our country when it comes to that. The disparity between daytime television and nighttime television, especially when it comes to women, is mind-boggling, because on daytime television, up until the time that The View showed up, we literally only had women in daytime television if they had a male co-host. It almost seemed as though a male co-host had to be present, and that shifted when The View came along, and then The View started to shift their ideology more to politics, but then behind the View came The Real, which is more pop culture based, and then The Talk is like a mix of the two. We had Kathy Lee and Hoda for a minute, and then now we have Jenna and Hoda, but with Kelly and Ryan, it's Kelly and Ryan. It was Kelly and Regis. It was Regis and Kathy Lee. So what do you think that we have to do to get to daytime and nighttime and make our presence known and stay there? Because like I said, when we started out, it's been 30 years since a woman has been a late night talk show host.
I know. Well, I mean, because even when we succeed, it's not enough, right? Like even when it's successful, they'll be like, well, that was an anomaly. It wasn't the norm. So how do we get this message to stick that it's not the anomaly? It's not just Black Panther that was okay internationally. It's all Black actors can be in movies that are going to be international and be successful. It's like Bruce Fives Club and Charlie's Angels does well, and people go, oh my God, look at that anomaly. Women went to the theater. And it's no, women will go to the theater. Give them the movie to go to the theater for, and they will keep going, you know. So I don't know how to get this message across in our country that it's no longer the token movie or the side movie that you take a chance on. These are the mainstream movies. Women are the mainstream. Don't treat it like a token on the side, because it's not. But it's very hard to get that message across. Even when it's successful, it still is treated like an anomaly. So that's nearly impossible to push this through.
I want to address two things that stuck out to me. me. So there's that whole scandal that happens with Catherine, played by Emma Thompson, where she has a sex scandal. And the same thing happened in Long Shot. There was a female character
I haven't seen it yet. But
yeah, in Long Shot, it's the same situation. The female character, female lead, has a
Right.
sex scandal. It's so interesting to me how when a man, when they have a sex scandal, it's oftentimes glossed over. There's not as much attention paid to it. And even in those situations, the female is victimized, right? So it's really interesting to me that every time Catherine would leave, like everybody has their moniker that they sign off with or sign on with. It was interesting to me that Catherine's moniker was, "Have I earned the privilege of your time?"
Right.
As a woman, why does she have to say,
why does she have to earn the privilege of your time?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all have to as women, right? Because we're underestimated. We're not given the benefit of the doubt or even the time. We have to constantly earn it. And I'm hoping that will change.
I'm hoping it'll change too. I loved having this conversation with you. You're not an anomaly, but you are such a breath of fresh air. I'm looking forward to seeing so many more of your directing projects. I hope that you're going to write something soon so that we can see your writing prowess on the screen as well.
Oh, that means so much. I will.
Oh, absolutely. And I really appreciate the fact that you took time out of your day to speak to me. I really wholeheartedly appreciate it.
Including me. Thank you so much. Most people just want to talk to the stars, so thank you for wanting to talk to me. I really appreciate it.